After you define your requirements, you need to determine your testing goal and outline the strategy for achieving your goal. After you determine your testing goal, you build a test plan tree, which hierarchically divides your application into testing units, or subjects. For each subject in the test plan tree, you define tests that contain steps. For each test step, you specify the actions to be performed on your application and the expected result. You can increase the flexibility of a test step by adding parameters. To keep track of the relationship between your tests and your requirements, you can link them. This can help you ensure compliance with your requirements throughout the application lifecycle management process. After you design your tests, you can decide which tests to automate. When you automate a test, you can generate a test script and then complete it using other HP testing tools, for example, QuickTest Professional or WinRunner. In this lesson, you will learn about developing a test plan tree, designing test steps, copying test steps, calling tests with parameters, creating and viewing requirements, coverage, generating automated test scripts, developing a test plan tree. The typical application is too large to test as a whole. The test plan module enables you to divide your application according to functionality. You divide your application into units, or subjects, by creating a test plan tree. The test plan tree is a graphical representation of your test plan, displaying your tests according to the hierarchical relationship of their functions. After you define subjects in the tree, you decide which tests to create for each subject and add them to the tree. In Lesson 3, you converted the cruise reservation requirement and its child requirements to subjects and tests in the test plan tree. In this exercise, you will add a subject and a test to the test plan tree in the test plan module. To develop a test plan tree. 1. Open the QualiCenter Demo project. If the QualiCenter Demo project is not already open, log into the project. 2. Display the test plan module. Click the test plan button on the sidebar. 3. Add a subject folder to the test plan tree. Select the Cruises subject folder and click the New Folder button. The New Folder dialog box opens. In the folder name box, type Cruise Cancellation. Click OK. The new subject folder appears under the Cruises subject folder in the test plan tree. In the Description tab in the right pane, type a description of the subject. This folder contains tests that verify the cancel reservation functionality. 4. Add a test to the subject folder. Select the Cruise Cancellation folder and click the New Test button. The Create New Test dialog box opens. In the Test Type box, select QUICKTEST to create a QuickTest Professional test, or select WR Automated to create a WinRunner test. In the Test Name box, type a name for the test, Cancel All Reservations. Click OK. The Required Test Fields dialog box opens. Select the following. Level: Basic Reviewed, Not Reviewed. Priority: 4 Very High. Click OK. The new test is added to the test plan tree under the Cruise Cancellation subject folder. 5. Add a test description. In the Details tab, you can see the test name, test designer, creation date, test status, and other information. In the Description tab, type a description for the test. The test verifies cancellation of cruise reservations. In the Itinerary page, Designing Test Steps. After you add a test to the test plan tree and define basic test information, you define test steps, detailed, step-by-step instructions that specify how to execute the test. A step includes the actions to be performed on your application and the expected results. You can create test steps for both manual and automated tests. For manual tests, you complete test planning by designing the test steps. Using your plan, you can begin test execution immediately. For automated tests, you create automated test scripts using HP testing tools, custom testing tools, or third-party testing tools. In this exercise, you will create the cruise booking test. This test verifies the process of booking a cruise through the Mercury Tours site. To design a test step. 1. Make sure the test plan module is displayed. If the test plan module is not displayed, click the Test Plan button on the sidebar. 2. Display the cruise booking test. Expand the Cruises and Cruise Reservation subject folders and select the cruise booking test. 3. Open the Design Step Editor. Click the Design Steps tab. Click the New Step button. The Design Step Editor opens. In the step name box, a step name is displayed. The default name is the sequential number of the test step, Step 1, if you are adding steps to a test for the first time. 4. Define a step for displaying the cruise special page. In the Design Step Editor, type the following. Step name, display the cruise special page. Description, click the Cruises button. Expected result, the cruise special page opens. 5. Define a step for reserving the cruise. In the Design Step Editor, make sure the previous step is selected. Click the New Step button. The step name box displays Step 2. Type the following. Step name, display the cruise reservation page. Description, click the Now Accepting Reservations button. Expected result, the cruise reservation page opens. 6. Define a step for booking the cruise. In the Design Step Editor, make sure the previous step is selected. Click the New Step button. The step name box displays Step 3. Type the following. Step name, book the cruise. Description, enter passenger name, credit card information, and address. Click OK. Expected result, the cruise confirmation page opens. 7. Define a step for printing the cruise confirmation information. In the Design Step Editor, make sure the previous step is selected. Click the New Step button. The step name box displays Step 4. Type the following. Step name, print cruise confirmation. Description, click the Print button. Expected result, 8 confirmation pages printed. 8. Define a step for logging off the Mercury Tours site. In the Design Step Editor, make sure the previous step is selected. Click the New Step button. The step name box displays Step 5. Type the following. Step name, log off. Description, click the Sign Off button. Expected result, returns to the Sign On page. 9. Close the Design Step Editor. Click OK. The Design Steps tab displays the design steps. Copy and test steps. You can copy steps from another test in the same project or from a different project. In this exercise, you will copy the test steps from the cruise booking test and paste them into the cruise search test. To copy a test step. 1. Display the Design Steps tab for the cruise booking test. In the test plan tree, expand the Cruises and Cruise Reservation subject folders and select the cruise booking test. Click the Design Steps tab. 2. Select the steps that you want to copy. Position the mouse pointer in the gray sidebar on the left. The mouse pointer changes to an arrow. Press the Shift or Ctrl key and select each row. 3. Copy the selected steps. Click the Copy Steps button. 4. Paste the steps into the cruise search test. In the test plan tree, select the cruise search test. In the Design Steps tab, click the Paste Steps button. The test steps are copied to the Design Steps tab, calling tests with parameters. To increase the flexibility of manual tests, you can add parameters to design steps. This enables you to run the same test repeatedly with different data each time. A test parameter is a variable that can be assigned a value outside the test from which it is defined. Manual tests with parameters can be called from other tests. This is useful if you have common steps you often want to perform as part of other tests. For example, you can create a template test login template that logs a user in when you start the application. You need to call this test at the beginning of each test. In some cases, you will want to log in as a regular user, while in others, you will need to log in as the project administrator. For this purpose, you can create 2 parameters, username and password, and change the values according to the type of test that is calling login template. If the most common login is a regular user, you can set the default values for the parameters to a regular username and password. In designing test steps, you created a test for booking a cruise. In this exercise, you will enhance your test by calling the Connect and Sign On test. This template test includes parameters for the Mercury Tours URL address and for the username and password used to log into the site. To call a test with parameters. 1. Display the Design Steps tab for the cruise booking test. In the test plan tree, expand the cruises and cruise reservation subject folders and select the cruise booking test. Click the Design Steps tab. 2. Select the test with parameters that you want to call. Click the Call to Test button. The Select a Test dialog box opens. In the Find box, type Connect and click the Find button. The Connect and Sign On test is highlighted. Click OK. The Parameters of Test dialog box opens and displays the parameters contained in the call test. 3. Assign actual values to the parameters. In the Actual Value column, type the following. Username, your username. Use the same name as the one used in Mercury Tours. Mercury Tours URL, HTTP Quality Center server name port number / towers password, leave blank. Click OK. The Call Connect and Sign On step is added to your design steps. For reorder the steps, position the mouse pointer on the gray sidebar to the left of the Call Connect and Sign On step. The mouse pointer changes to an arrow. Click and drag the step to the top row. It is essential that the tests in your test plan comply with your requirements. To help ensure compliance throughout the application lifecycle management process, you can add links between your tests in the Test Plan module and your requirements in the Requirements module. In the Test Plan module, you create requirements coverage by selecting requirements to link to a test. Alternatively, in the Requirements module, you create tests coverage by selecting tests to link to a requirement. A test can cover more than one requirement, and a requirement can be covered by more than one test. To further ensure compliance with your testing requirements, after you log defects, you can link your requirements and tests to defects. This ensures that if a requirement changes, you can identify which tests and defects are affected, and who is responsible for them. In these exercises, you will learn about the following. Linking requirements to a test. Linking tests to a requirement. Analyzing test coverage. Linking requirements to a test. In this exercise you will view existing requirements coverage for the cruise booking test and create new requirements coverage by linking the cruise search requirement to the cruise booking test. You will also add requirements coverage for the following tests: cancel all reservations, airline preference, and number of passengers. 2. Link a requirement to a test. 1. Make sure that the test plan module is displayed. If the test plan module is not displayed, click the Test Plan button on the sidebar. 2. Display the cruise booking test. Expand the cruises and cruise reservation subject folders and select the cruise booking test. 3. Display the Recoverage tab. In the right pane, click the Recoverage tab. The existing requirements coverage is displayed in the coverage grid. Note that the cruise booking requirement is already linked to the cruise booking test because you converted the requirement to a test. 4. Display the requirements tree. Click the Select Tree button and expand the requirements tree displayed on the right. 5. Add the cruise search requirement to the coverage grid. In the requirements tree in the right pane, under Cruise Reservation, select Cruise Search. Click the Add to Coverage Without Children button. The cruise search requirement is added to the coverage grid. Tip: you can also drag a requirement in the requirements tree to the coverage grid. The requirement is added to the coverage grid without its child requirements. 6. Add coverage to the Cancel All Reservations test. In the Test Plan tree, expand the Cruises and Cruise Cancellation subject folders and select the Cancel All Reservations test. In the Requirements tree in the right pane, under Cruise Reservation, select Cruise Search and drag the requirement to the coverage grid. Select Cruise Booking and drag the requirement to the coverage grid. 7. Add coverage to the Airline Preference test. In the Test Plan tree, expand the Flight Reservation and Flight Finder subject folders and select the Airline Preference test. In the Requirements tree in the right pane, under Cruise Reservation, select Cruise Search and drag the requirement to the coverage grid. Select Cruise Booking and drag the requirement to the coverage grid. 8. Delete coverage for the Airline Preference test. In the coverage grid, select Flight Tickets. Click the Remove Selected button. Click Yes to confirm. Select Airline Company and click the Remove Selected button. Click Yes to confirm. 9. Add coverage to the Number of Passengers test. In the Test Plan tree, expand the Flight Reservation and Flight Finder subject folders, and select the Number of Passengers test. In the Requirements tree in the right pane, under Cruise Reservation, select Cruise Search, and drag the requirement to the coverage grid. 10. Hide the Requirements tree. Click the Close button, linking tests to a requirement. In this exercise, you will create test coverage by linking the Cruise Search test to the cruise booking requirement. 2. Link a test to a requirement. 1. Display the Requirements module. Click the Requirements button on the sidebar. 2. Display the Requirements tree in Requirement Details view. Choose View Requirement Details. The Requirement Details view is displayed. 3. Display the Cruise Booking requirement. In the Requirements tree, expand the Cruise Reservation folder, and select the Cruise Booking requirement. 4. Display the Test Coverage tab. In the right pane, click the Test Coverage tab. The coverage grid indicates that the cruise booking requirement is already linked to the following tests: cruise booking, cancel all reservations, and airline preference. 5. Display the Test Plan tree. If the Test Plan tree is not displayed, in the Test Coverage tab, click the Select Tests button to show the Test Plan tree on the right. 6. Select the Cruise Search test in the Test Plan tree. In the Test Plan tree tab, expand the Cruises and Cruise Reservation subject folders and select the Cruise Search test. 7. Add the test to the coverage grid. Click the Add to Coverage button. The Cruise Search test is added to the coverage grid. 8. Hide the Test Plan tree. Click the Close button above the Test Plan tree, analyzing test coverage. After you create test coverage, you can use the Coverage Analysis view in the Requirements module to analyze the breakdown of child requirements according to test coverage. In this exercise, you will analyze the Application Client System requirement. To analyze test coverage. 1. Make sure that the Requirements module is displayed. If the Requirements module is not displayed, click the Requirements button on the sidebar. 2. Display the Requirements tree in Coverage Analysis view. Choose View Coverage Analysis. The Coverage Analysis view is displayed. 3. Display the Application Client System requirement in Coverage Analysis view. If any filters are applied, click the Set Filters/Sort arrow and choose Clear Filter/Sort. Click Yes to confirm. Under the Mercury Tours Application requirement, expand the Application Client System requirement and its children. 4. Display Coverage Analysis for the Application Client System requirement. Right-click the Application Client System requirement and choose Coverage Analysis. The Coverage Analysis dialog box opens. 5. Display the child requirements with a failed status. Click the red failed area of the graph. The child requirements with a failed status are listed. 6. Display test coverage for the requirement. Click the Show Test Coverage link to extend the Coverage Analysis dialog box and display the test coverage chart. This pie chart graphically displays the full test coverage for the requirement, grouped according to test status. Click the Past section of the chart to open the Test Coverage dialog box and display the list of tests with the selected status. Close the Test Coverage dialog box. 7. Close the Coverage Analysis dialog box. Click the Close button